These brushes right here, these are going to be your everyday brushes. You feel how nice and soft they are, right? These aren't going to scratch the floor. These aren't going to do anything. These work great on that because they get down into the ground. Okay, so Kyle's going to show you how to put them on, take them off.
So you see this yellow touch point right here? That's what we call this. You just push this and the brush is going to pop off. But to put it on, it's got this star. All you do is just reach underneath, kind of feel it click on, just pop it on, and then like I said, press this, brush is gonna pop right off. There's a little harder. And you just line it up again, just reach up, connect it to that star. Once you hear it click, that brush is on.
Let's say you started seeing some stains or some things here, then we could use these scrubbing pads, all right? And we got you a box of those, all right? So you could use those. They're very easy to change these pads. Basically all you do, I'm probably telling you guys a lot of stuff you already know, but whatever. You just put a pad on here, push the pad driver down, it snaps into place, and you're good to go. They go on exactly the same way, okay? So different floors, like a lot of people only use these for here. If I were you, I would use those brushes for everything that we see because they're nice and soft. They're not gonna scratch anything. If you put this on and left it on, it's not gonna do as good a job on there. Because think about this, this has no way of getting down into the ground, right? So if you want to strip, that's when you're going to use these, right? So again, you guys, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but these you don't want to use on an everyday basis here because you're going to pull any wax or any finish off of these floors, okay? Every day, these are going to be your safest brushes. They're going to do the best job out there. You could use them pretty much anywhere else.
So showed you how to put the brushes on, take them off. This is the solution tank in front here. This is where you're gonna fill it with water to start. It's gonna have this filter thing on here right here. We usually just take that off to make it easier to get the water in there, but it's to filter out the soap.
Once you put it in tap water as well too, no distilled or anything special?
Yeah, no, it's just water, solution, detergent, whatever you guys use with it.
Okay.
But it's gonna hold about 10.5 gallons, so just keep that in mind. That's the capacity.
So you have plenty of room for doing this whole thing, and the reason is you have full control on how much water goes down, okay? Also want to show your batteries. You got 4 6-volt batteries for a 24-volt system, and this one just plugs into any 110 outlet. So you guys just have the cord back here. It's got a built-in charger. You'll just plug this in anywhere. You got a 10-foot cord. While it's in there, we keep it, charged or whatever.
Okay.
The rule of thumb that we use is, if you're not using it for 30 minutes or more, put it back on charge, okay? You don't have to have it on charge if it's fully charged, but we leave it on charge all the time if you're not using it for 30 minutes or more. Reason being, it's a smart charger. And what happens is every 30 minutes, you'll get a little bit of a trickle charge into it. So if you leave it for a week on charge, it's no problem. It's not gonna hurt the batteries. They're not gonna drain anything. Basically, every hour, half hour to an hour, you're gonna get a little trickle charge. Just keeps the batteries alive, okay? In terms of battery maintenance, that's kind of an important thing. We're going to talk to Chris about having our guy come in maybe a couple times a year or whatever. But basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put water in here that's going to automatically water your batteries for you. Okay, so it's an automatic battery watering system. So again, this isn't anything that's like real critical that, oh my God, I didn't do that. Just every once in a while, eyeball this, make sure there's water in there. We recommend distilled water, but any water is better than no water. So if you have a gallon of distilled water in there, throw it into here, what's gonna happen is when the batteries call for water, it'll automatically suck a little bit of water into the batteries. Okay, so that's the beauty of it, right? You don't have to worry about it, you don't have to do anything. Basically what's gonna happen is this is gonna keep you from, your batteries only lasting 3 years when they should be lasting you 5, 6, 7 years. There's 3 circuit breakers, okay? This one is your vac fan. These are for your 2 brushes. Okay, so if you didn't see something and you banged into something, screw sticking out of the floor, it won't keep going. It'll stop.
Okay.
It'll pop. Yeah, it'll pop. So if something happens where you go, or you sucked up a towel or something, or whatever it is, it's going to pop a circuit breaker. So this will pop up to here. These will pop up to about there, and you just reset them and go on your way. If you reset it and it immediately goes back, one of the brushes doesn't spin, or you can't suck water. Now you go to the manual and it says check this, and so forth. One thing I want to mention too is if you see the side of this, it says ecH2O. That stands for electrically converted water. Okay? ecH2O means you really don't have to use detergent. Now, You certainly can put water or soap and water in this machine. So if you have a certain area where you go, look, we have a lot of salt in the winter that comes in, we got to put this, whatever, that's fine. You can certainly put whatever. But just to save on detergents, all you need to do, as Kyle said, just throw your water in there, and this machine turns that water into a cleaning agent. And here's how that works. Basically, what we do is we fill that with water. This will always tell you how much water you have at any given time. So the water that we put in there is going to raise up to here, and you'll know I got a full tank of water, right? When you turn the machine on, you're going to have the ability to turn on something called ecH2O that we just talked about, converting the water. If this button is on, that means you don't need soap. ecH2O, you don't need any soap. If you wanted to put soap or vinegar or something in the tank for some reason that you guys have that we don't know, that's okay, just turn that off. And what happens then is, whatever you put in the tank goes directly to the brushes, you know, the soap and mixes with the water goes directly to the brushes, no problem. If this is on, we recommend only putting water in the machine, okay? Because it's gonna convert that cold water into a cleaning agent. So basically what happens is this is an ecH2O box. Converts the water into it. All right, so when you put any kind of clear, cold water in there, what happens is you put it in the tank, it goes through this box. When it goes through that box, we shock it, we electrify it, we ionize it. That's what it means, okay? So by introducing electricity into water, you separate the ions in the water. Negative, what was a neutral stream that came in is now two separate streams coming out. A positively charged stream and a negatively charged stream. Those shoot down onto the ground. We introduce millions of micro bubbles into it. We shoot that down into the ground. And because it's so active, like a million magnets trying to get together, it knocks the dirt off the floor. In 15 to 20 seconds, it just comes back into dirty, neutral water, right? You said, what if I did put soap in there and I forgot? Is it gonna do any damage? No, but because now you have something in the water, it can't separate.
Okay.
The ions can't separate. So now you're using basically your thing, and the dirt and the soapy water is going through here. Not hurting anything, it's just not doing anything.
Just not, okay.
You know, so that's the key. We know that's going to happen, but we recommend teaching you the right way to begin with. If you're going to use soap, turn it off. If you're going to use just water, keep it on. Feel like, okay, so say this light turns red, right? You're never going to see it red, but let's just say you decided we're going to run stripper through there all day long. After doing that for months, this is going to turn red. That means inside that box, there's a little bit of a buildup. If that happens, what we do is we empty the machine, clean water and dirty water. We put in here some water and some vinegar. We press this button, and what it's going to do is it's going to send that directly through. We're going to still scrub. Now the water and the vinegar is going down, and it's going to send that through directly into this box. When it does that, it's going to clean out any buildup that's in there.
I want to go back to the solution tank real quick. I told you guys this was 10.5. It's not that. It's 22.5. I was thinking about the other machine. So this is 22.5 gallons you can put in here. And the recovery tank that's going to pick up all the dirty water, that's going to be about 27 gallons that you can put in there. And then that's going to be picked up by this, the squeegee right here. So basically how this is going to work, it's going to slide across the floor. The vac fan motor is going to go through it and suck up all that dirty water. It's called a parabolic squeegee. Moves with the machine, so it's gonna turn where you turn and just kind of follow it. To put it on, all you need to do is just loosen these up. These are yellow touch points again. Anything yellow you see the operator can touch without tools. Just kind of line it up. Get it nice and tight on there. You don't have to go too tight because it is a breakaway squeegee, so it's meant to break away if you bump into something so it doesn't damage it. So once that's good, then you just take this is your vac fan hose, and you're going to connect it to the squeegee, like so, and then it's on. And to operate that, once you're scrubbing, all you're going to do is kick down right here on this. It's going to put it to the floor, vac fan's going to turn on. And then when you want to raise it, just lift it up with your foot.
So just to kind of go through the machine again, right? We're going to fill it with water. We're going to do this today. We're going to put some water in there. We're going to fill it, okay? That's going to tell us how much water is in there. If you don't know how much water's in there. I mean, you could kind of look in there in the front and go, do I have any water in there? Or you could just kind of check back here and see. If you ever needed to empty the clean water tank, it's pretty easy to do. You just pull that down and empty it there. Whatever water's in there would come out. That's never probably going to happen because you can leave water in the machine, right? All week or all night or whatever you want to do. But if you ever needed to do that, when you need to empty the dirty water tank, remember Kyle said, we're sucking it up that squeegee, right? That's going to go right into here. Comes up that hose, comes right through here, and it ends up in here. Now, this is not a sweeper, but anything that it sucks up off the ground, like it might get salt or rocks or a piece of paper, or somebody has a cigarette on their shoe, it's gonna end up in here, right? So every day, at the end of the day, you gotta kind of rinse this out. All that dirty water is gonna end up in here, right? So it's all gonna be in here. What happens in this tank is, the water's gonna lift up. Hit that squeegee down again. So you'll hear it, it's a little loud, we'll just do it for a second. But all that's gonna suck up. Sucking all that water right into here. Go ahead, lift that up. What this is for is this protects our vacuum fan. Okay, our vacuum fan is in here. So as the water lifts up, these ping pong balls fill in this hole. So every once in a while, if this thing looks filthy, spray this off or brush this off. Okay, run a little water through there because we want that there all the time. Because when the water's lifted up, it's like your toilet at home and needs a shut off. When it lifts up, that's what it's going to be. So again, go ahead and hit that button. Hit that squeegee down again. This is what you'll hear usually when the water's full. That's what you're gonna do. Oh, I can't pick up any more water. Right, now let the squeegee up. And it always takes a few seconds because it's trying to suck it all the way up into here. But that's what I won't do it anymore. You know, you probably got classes and stuff going on. Okay, so this is something that we want to keep an eye on too. This is going to fill with dirty water, as we said. We got to have a way of emptying that. That's right here. Okay, so what you do is you squeeze this, take the cap off, get out of the way.
Careful where you point it to, because
Yeah.
it's gravity based. It's going to come rushing.
It will come out with some
Super
power.
fast. Keep going,
Yeah.
get some dirty water.
It's happened to all of us. Okay, so basically that's the kind of the walk around on the machine. Again, you got the scrubber, you got the two keys. You'll take one of those keys right there. This is forward, this is reverse. Okay, so you're still squeezing the same bail. But you just tell it if you want to go forward or reverse. Okay, you also have full speed here. Come around this way. You see we got the turtle and the rabbit. You could tell what should be fast and what should be slow, right? So I'll put it all the way on turtle. That's really where we want to scrub. Nice and slow. Look, I'm squeezing the bail all the way. That's how slow you're going. If I wanted to just move it from here down to there and not go, I can move it pretty quick. And you can see a big difference in speed, right? And that same thing for reverse and forward. You control the speed. When we scrub, we want to be definitely closer to the turtle than we are for the rabbit, okay? Forward and reverse. I'd like to bring this to your attention too. This is a kill switch. About 70% of our first service calls have something to do with this. That gets depressed accidentally, okay? What happens is everything flashes. Even if you turn the machine off and turn it back on, everything's flashing. It's really not working. The machine's not working. They think the batteries are dead. They call us, our service guy, our customer service will say, turn the machine off, twist that kill switch, turn everything back on, you should be ready to go. Now that's there for two reasons, okay? One is only the people who go through this little class are gonna know about that, right? So if you wanna kind of protect the machine, you could put it in there, put it on charge, and go like that. If the wrong person got the key, they could come in here and go, I'm gonna go mess around with that. It won't go anywhere because it's killed switch, right? You know you gotta turn it off, reset it, and then put the key back on. The other thing that it's there for, and this is really what makes it the machine fully UL approved. If you were backing yourself up to like into a wall or something, you didn't realize there was something behind you, and you're going backwards. People tend to squeeze harder, and if they let go, it would stop, right? But people tend to squeeze harder. Well, eventually that's going to hit your body and kill the machine. That's what it's there for. It's like a safety device. Okay.
So yeah, when you turn the key, it's on just like a car. You got your battery level right here. Once you get closer to the orange and the red, that's when you're getting around like 15-20 minutes left of use. You should get about 5 hours of use on this on a full charge. So this is the ecH2O button. So like he was saying, you could turn that off or on. If that's on, your water is going to be regulated, so it's only going to come out a certain amount when the ecH2O is on, as Neil said. This button right here, this is going to be to kind of like tone down the vacuum fan. So you guys got classes going on and stuff here, like he said. If you press this, it'll kind of make the vacuum fan way more toned down.
We'll give you an example. It's kind of cool. It's supposed to be a human ear. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's for like hospitals, schools, like,
Right,
stuff
or
like
maybe
that.
here.
Yeah.
You want to scrub a little bit? Here.
So if you press that,
It's a little quieter.
So it's not stuck in the
Exactly. That's the thing. It's not going to get quite as dry, but it's a little quieter. So you can imagine in a school that would matter, because this could irritate. That could be louder. I bet you guys will never use it, but you never know. You never know.
and then more controls here. You got your water, so this is going to be your solution level. Like I said, if it's on ecH2O, you're not going to be able to adjust that. But when you turn that off, you can go up to 1, 2, or 3. 3, you're going to be laying down a pretty good amount of gallons a minute. So I just keep it like we usually do 1, 2 if you're in like an area where you really need to lay the solution down and let it sit. But 1's usually where we keep it. Depending on what you're cleaning. This is going to be the brush down pressure. So this is how hard you're pushing those brushes into the floor while you're scrubbing. And we recommend keeping it at 1 or 2. Like I said, again, if you put it on 3, you're going to be going through brushes pretty quickly. They're wearable and consumable items, so it's always a good idea to have an extra set on hand. But you don't want to go through them like more quickly than you have to, especially when you're not scrubbing like too crazy of a floor.
Here, I would say 1's going to do really good for you. That's how much those bristles are kind of digging down. And like you said, if you're scrubbing there, bristles, we want the bristles like this. If we crank it down, bristles kind of bend, and it does a more aggressive job, but you'll go through brushes faster that way.
And then this last button right here, this we call this the one-step scrub button. If you don't remember anything I said today, like about any of these controls, you press this button, it's going to turn everything on. It's going to turn on the vacuum fan, the brushes are going to go down, and you're going to start scrubbing. You still got to kick down the squeegee to start it, but this is going to be your one-step scrub button, so you press that every time you use the machine. And it'll save the same settings that you had on if you leave it. If you had it like water level 2, brush pressure level 1, it'll stay that way once you turn it back on.
And this is a little cheat sheet. So 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. But again, the reason that they're there is because maybe you want to do 3 on the water, 1 on the drown pressure.
Okay.
And this, like Kyle said, this will remember it, right? So you turn it on, turn it off, it's going to remember that. So I'm going to go ahead and just do 1 and 1. We'll do a little demo here. Now, I don't see anybody coming, so I'm not going to put the squeegee down. I just want you to see how much water is actually going down, okay? So I got it on scrub. I'm going to get closer to turtle. We'll go ahead and knock our brushes down, okay? The brushes, you can see they're going down. And water, it takes a second or two for water to start coming out. But you let me know if somebody starts coming. I'll just do a small little area here.